my name is Gina Paulus. I'm the owner of Homebodies and Own Fitness Training. Today I'd like to show you some hip opener stretches that you can do right on the floor. So to get started, you can lie on your back. You can take one knee and pull it up toward the same side shoulder. You're going to do that with interlaced fingers. So you're pulling that knee in. I'd like you to squeeze your glute on the opposite side. Tuck your chin just a bit. And you're just going to hold that for about 20 to 30 seconds. Release that leg, switch. Pulling the knee straight towards the shoulder. So this is working your hip flexors by tightening the glute. On the opposite side, you're getting a little bit of a deeper hip flexor stretch. Keep checking in with your neck to make sure that it's slightly tucked. And you can go ahead and release that. Next, we're going to grasp the left knee with the right hand. You're going to pull your knee across your body and turn your head to look toward the opposite side. Your arm can be extended directly out from your side. So you're looking toward your palm on that arm, the left arm that is facing up. And this is going to help stretch your lower back, your glutes, and your hip. Same thing with this, holding about 20 to 30 seconds. And you can switch. The knee can be slightly above the hip if that's comfortable for you. We're pulling it towards the floor. Your neck is turned to face the right hand. That is outstretched from the arm. And you can release that. Next, we're going to get into a little ball. You can grab up and over your knees. You can grab your shins and hold on there. If you're not able to grab your shins, you can grab your hands. You can interlace the fingers here as far as one is on top of the other. Whatever you need to do to make yourself into a little ball. This is stretching your lower back and your hips. And you can release that. It's good to go back to neutral in between each stretch so that your body can sort it out before you move on to the next one. So next we'll do a butterfly. You're gonna have your soles of your feet together. First things first, pull up nice and straight. If you're unable to really get your back straight, then you can spend this time working on that. If you're straight, then you can start working on pushing your thighs down with your elbows. And if you'd like something a little bit deeper, you can round forward by curling your neck forward and looking towards your belly. I'm gonna stay up in my straight spine today, but the curling forward will get your back a little bit more. The upright one works your inner thighs really well, especially if you can use that pressure to push down into your inner thighs with your elbows. Next, we're doing a kneeling hip stretch. So you've got your feet are on railroad tracks. So if you start on your knees and you put your foot directly forward, I don't want you putting it in line with the other leg. I want you to have that hip width space between. Now we're going to take the back leg and we're going to spin it to the outside. So now that back leg is turning out. Now a lot of people, their leg will actually want to turn in like that, and to them that will feel normal. So for you, if you're a person with that type of hip, you're going to feel like you're out when you're actually straight. So you just go to where you can. If you can get it out, great. If you can't, just do your best. But from here, we're going to tuck the pelvis and squeeze the glute of the leg in the back so that you're able to isolate those hip flexors. Your hands can go on your front knee. And I'm using my arms to gently push my shoulders back while I push my hips forward. And switch. So my leg goes out. Get myself straight here. All right. Pushing the hip forward, squeezing the glute in the back. Feels a lot different than the traditional kneeling lunge, so it's good to work your body in different planes of motion so that you're not always doing everything straight on. Now we'll do a frog stretch. So we're on the knees, we're going to open the knees as wide as you can while keeping your back straight and your abs tight. So I don't want a lot of arching, I want your back neutral. We're just holding this. This is for inner thighs or adductors. You also might feel it in your abs, especially if you just did abs yesterday like I did. So don't be surprised if that happens. Now we're gonna go all the way through so that the feet are up in the air. If you can, put the soles of the feet together, that's good. If they're a little off, but do your best to put them as close together as possible. Now my feet are pretty high in the air, but if you have more open hips, you're gonna find that your feet will be closer to the floor, which is great, but you obviously need to do what you can. So just find your place and hold for about 30 seconds here. You're trying to press your knees apart, so I can actually do mine a little bit more. So I'm gonna scooch back, and then I'll find that now my knees are a little bit wider, and that's gonna make it harder to have your feet touch. If it's easy for your feet to touch, that means you're probably not wide enough in your knees. All right, come on up out of that one. And next we're going to do an upright piriformis. So you start, hands back, put one ankle up over the other knee. Make sure it's your ankle bone and not your shin or your sneaker, right at the ankle bone. And now we're walking our hands in. So this one, some people are gonna be way back here and that's all they're gonna be able to do. So you really have to individualize it for your level of flexibility. But what we're doing now is thinking push the chest towards the shin. So some people will round and they say, oh, I'm getting closer. But really for this exercise, we're actually measuring it by how close is your chest to your shin. So it has nothing to do with your belly and everything to do with your upper torso. And switch sides. Now, if this is too much, the other alternative would be to lie on your back. You can see if you can grab your thigh and pull in. You can also put your foot against the wall if you can't reach your thigh or if it's too hard to hold your legs. So my foot would be against the wall and the wall would be holding me up. That's another option for you if this one is too difficult for you to get in this position, which it can be for a lot of people. So here we are with the piriformis upright. Make sure you're taking deep breaths, and each time you breathe out, you'll find that you can maybe go a millimeter or two closer, which is what we want. All right, and come on out of that one. Next, we're going to do seated pretzel. So you can take your, I'll do rights and lefts so you guys can follow along. So right knee is going to go close, close, close to your hip on the left. So now we're closing there. And if you can, I can grab with my elbows. This one I'm pretty open with, but you might need to just hold with your hands. But the point is to get the knee close to your belly without hurting your hips. So you do want a little bit of uncomfortable tugging or stretching feeling, but you don't want it to be painful. No sharp pains, no shooting pains. I'll do the other side and I'll show you guys from the side. So start with your leg in a half butterfly, the right leg, and then we'll put the left one up and over. I'm sitting on both sits bones. I'm not tipped to one side. If you have to tip, then don't go as far with this foot. So put it out more in the front if that's what it takes to be sitting on both hip bones. That's totally fine. So we're gonna grab and pull in. All right, and then we'll finish up with a lunge stretch. So you're gonna have your hand on your knee. Just gonna push your hip forward. Now, what I don't wanna have is too much lower back. So again, from the side, we don't want the lower back to be really, really archy. I want that more upright and neutral, and you're just pushing those hips down and forward. Keeping abs tight and glutes tight can help with that positioning as well. And switch. Squeezing your glute in the back leg, holding your body upright with your hands. This one it probably won't work with straight arms because it will be too hard to fit everything in, so usually bent arms works well for this one. Think of stretching tall through the crown of your head as well, which will help deepen the hip stretch. All right, so we just ran through that once, which is great for just a cool down from a workout. If you want to improve flexibility, it can be helpful to run through it twice. So you can simply rewind the video and start at the beginning and do it 2 times through. Once you have it memorized, you can do the 2 sets back to back if you would like. So have fun with that. I hope it helps.